Greetings. This is Arvette McLean of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because it
Teach people like, hey, it's okay. Change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Greetings, and welcome to today's episode of Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is, do your thoughts really create your reality? And I have Stephen joining me, and then of course Scott, one of my favorites. So when I met him, he couldn't walk. He couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. It was him spending time with me.
That's what did it, for sure. That's what did it.
So most of you may know that Scott is my brother, and I'm glad to have you here. Welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so the topic, do thoughts really create your reality? So I know so many times people are like, well, you know, they hear this all the time, that thoughts create your reality. But they feel like, well, I'm a positive person, and I'm always asking for stuff. But I don't have my stuff. Where my stuff at? Where is my stuff?
So, yeah, I hear that same thing. And, you know, one of the things is what we're saying is not necessarily what we're thinking. And, you know, so I believe our thoughts do create our reality, but it's not just the conscious thoughts. It's also the thoughts that are beneath the surface. And so sometimes we might be out here asking for amazing things, but inside, at the same time, we're saying, I don't deserve it. And so that we had a little thought, this is not going to happen for me. I don't deserve it. And so it's that thought that becomes the overriding thought. You know, so it's a matter of getting those thoughts into congruency. Mm-hmm. You know, I often kind of share that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You know, and so how we think in our heart, that's our subconscious mind. It's the thought beneath the thought that's really controlling things. And we control that thought when we start becoming aware of it. We know that it's there, and so we can consciously start choosing the thoughts we have on a subconscious level. But it takes some awareness. It takes, you know, understanding where we are and what's going on underneath the surface.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Most definitely, your to me, I think your thoughts pretty much create your reality.
You say you think that, so it definitely does for you, right?
To me, it definitely does. You know, it took me a while to actually recognize that, to be honest with you, because I was so used to, well, not used to, but I had the attachment of my old thought process that when I came to realize the way that I think is what is going to be reflected back. Like, how I think is my reality, pretty much. When I came to realize that, then I was like, okay, so let me shift my thinking, because my mindset was more on lack, you know, poverty mindset. I had that type of mindset. So I had to realize that, okay, so you need to align your thoughts and align yourself with what it is that you think about, what it is that you want to manifest. And then slowly but surely, I started to see things just come into play for me. I'm like, it was like the light bulb went off. I said, okay. I said, awesome. But I think a lot of people just, everybody has this thought process of perfection. And we think that we have to be perfect in order for things to line up.
Yes.
Before we actually start doing the work. You know, and I think that when we just start to actually do, and don't be scared. You know, I mean, we're stepping into the unknown, of course. And when you're stepping into the unknown, a lot of people have that fear, and that's the thing that overwhelms them into not being able to see the things that they want to manifest into their life. And so their thinking process is not what they're able to do, but what they can do. You know? And so I think when they start to practice a little bit more, like, you know what, let me catch myself. Instead of me saying I can't, let me find ways to align myself with I can do or I am.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that, thoughts really are a point of creation.
Yes.
So, but the thing about it is, the universe doesn't really respond to our thoughts. The universe responds to our feelings. And so thoughts are the things that causes us to have feelings.
True. Right.
So it's up to us to be able to manage our feelings. And so, as I always say, God don't understand English. So it's what feeling are you emitting? But that feeling is caused by whatever it is that you're thinking.
Right.
And so, like I say, you can choose your thought at any time. So no matter what thoughts you're having, like a lot of times we have knee-jerk reactions, like this happens and then you're just like, And so like one thing Scott said was the present moment awareness. Like if you're aware, oops, I just had that, and you just kind of catch yourself and reel yourself back in and change what you're thinking, change what you're feeling, change what you're emitting. And one thing, like a lot of people are like, well, I'm a positive person. But so many of us who really are positive people, we still have all that negative chatter going
Yes.
on. And like Stephen was saying, a lot of times we're aligned with fear, we're aligned with lack, we're aligned with limitation. And so those are the vibrations the feelings that the universe is responding to.
Yeah. And as I was kind of saying, as you think of in your heart, the heart is feelings. That's so same thing, different wordage per se. And so our thoughts do control what we're feeling. It can if we're in that place of awareness. Yet so often people are not in awareness. We're not consciously choosing what we expect, what we're feeling. We're not choosing what we're thinking. We just allow the thoughts of, whether it's from the mass consciousness of everybody to come in, or just what we've been accustomed to in the past, to just continue to play. And, so if we've been accustomed to being in fear, being in lack, being in, in doubt, feelings of not being enough, if we've been accustomed to feeling those things, then we're feeling it and don't even think about it anymore. It's like it's just happening and we don't even know it.
Right.
And I can remember, a year ago, actually, having that experience before. I didn't realize I was in this place of stress. But as I was looking at the things going on around me, I was like, well, stuff not looking right.
Right.
Okay, what am I actually thinking? And so I stopped and I thought about what I was thinking. Does that sound weird?
I understand.
But I thought about what am I thinking? What's been going on internally? And so at that moment, I made the conscious decision to release any of those negative feelings that I was experiencing at the time. And so, I just kind of stopped, and it was there for maybe 15, 20 minutes just by myself, room by myself, and I just released feelings. Now, in doing that, I didn't realize I was feeling contracted before, but I could feel as though I was being expanded.
Right.
It was just like this weight just was lifted up off of me. And of course, everything else started transforming again as well. It was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, this is what I'm expecting. Okay, yeah, this is better. But we have to get to that place of being aware of what we're feeling. What's that deep underlying thought, and be willing to release it if it's not congruent with what we expect to find in our reality.
I agree with you, Scott. The feelings is a big part of, if you feel as though you're able to do something, and that feeling, you just know that, and you feel it like, I can do it, I got this. You already got it, but when you sort of resonate with the I can't attitude, It's like I had a friend that gave me this thought to think about. He said, the more you resist, the more it persists.
Mm-hmm.
So putting that in perspective with your thoughts, if you're thinking negative, if you're thinking of lack, if you're thinking of the things that that's going wrong in your life, well, the more you resist trying to be positive, and you just pretty much bringing more of what it is, that you, if I'm saying it correctly, I know my words are getting a little, but basically,
you're good.
Yeah, but basically, it more what you think about, the more it'll come to you. So just think about what you're thinking about. Be aware of what you're thinking about. And for me, my thought process at first was when I had a very fearful mindset of the things that I was so scared to take on in my life. I took the time out to say, all right. And it was baby steps that I had to do. It wasn't just like it happened, the next day. But I started to change the thought. And I think for a lot of people, they just want things to happen right then and there, and it doesn't work that way. You got to be patient and just have that mindset of saying, you know what, okay, I'm going to try and I'm going to do it. As long as you're just doing it, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be persistent with it, but well, you do. I take that back. You do have to be persistent with it. But as long as you continuously trying, the better that you will get at it. And then after a while, you'll be in a space as to where it's like,
Okay. Yeah, so that was a really good point, Stephen. And the thing is that thoughts produce things. And so if we can just keep that in our mind, like thoughts produce things, thoughts produce things, thoughts produce things. Because if you can think about it, in order for this table to be there, someone had to think it before they created it. And so we understand things like that, like concrete things. But we think that things produce thoughts when it comes to stuff like, maybe you don't have enough money. Then you're like, I think I'm poor because I don't have enough money.
right.
But really, it's the thought that came first. And so that's something that, it's kind of hard for us to get a hold of, or hard for us to grasp, that the thought comes first always. And so if you don't have enough money, it's a thought that you're having. So it's like, maybe you're thinking you're unworthy. Maybe you're thinking people like you aren't supposed to have money. Maybe you're thinking that just a general feeling of lack. Maybe you're thinking that you don't deserve anything. So just it could be any number of things that you are thinking, and you are radiating that vibration out into the universe. So if nothing else, take home, thoughts produce things, thoughts produce things, thoughts produce things. And so that's one of the things that I had to say to myself over and over again, to realize that, okay, whatever looks like is happening out there, what's going on in here? What am I thinking to produce these things?
Yeah. That's a powerful piece. Whatever you're seeing going on, whatever you're seeing, to take the ownership of that and say, that's because of what I'm thinking. It's because of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, what's going on internally. That's what's producing this experience I'm having externally. And it's, sometimes I hear people saying, am I that powerful? God put this in front of me. Well, I don't know, when I think about it, I think about, at the beginning there was only God. The end, everybody says only God. So in between, to me, it seems like it can only be God. And so if God created you in his likeness and his image, that means he's created you from him. You're one with him. You're a part of God. And in thinking of from that perspective, you have strengths, you have power, you have the ability to manifest things, to change your experience because of the power that is within you. And so to connect with that power, to understand, I am a divine being walking right here. I'm one with God. So not to separate yourself away from God, but to become one with God, to understand that you are one with the universe. And from that place, now have that thought. What is it that I choose to experience? I was talking with a buddy of mine the other day that he said, he was asking somebody, if you could get any car that you would want, what car would you get? And the guy was like, maybe I'll get a Prius or something that's economical. He said, wait a minute. He said, if this was your birthday,
Right.
and
right.
God say to you, son, whatever you want right now is yours. What do you want? You know, you get a whole different image to come to mind there. Your thoughts expand at this point, and so in the expansion of your thoughts, you also expand your experiences to a whole different level. And so to connect your thoughts to the higher power, speak, the universe listens, the universe, connect to the universe and think from that place, your whole experience changes.
You never I can't agree with you. And you thinking like, man, if God was, he say you can have anything you want. I'm like,
Anything. No limits.
And I think that's something that a lot of people do. We so used to having that, putting that limitation on ourselves and not understanding our true power. I am a divine being. And so when we realize that, like what you just said, I think that would shift the thought process into out of the lack and what you can't do into I got this, I am.
And one thing, like, I hate to say old school thinking, but I'll just say what we've been taught is the whole concept of working hard in order to get whatever you want. There is a benefit to working hard. I think the benefit is that when you work hard, you believe that you deserve the end result.
Yes.
You believe you deserve the spoils of working hard. So to me, that's really the one of the only benefits of working hard. I mean, it could be some others, but yeah, that's pretty much one of the benefits. But we do want to understand that if you want to work hard, just work hard on changing your thought. And so, like, I like to play this game. I named it Catch Yourself in the Act. So, anything could happen, like, let's just say if this plant fell on me, and then I'm just like, I'm like mad at the plant or whatever. But instead of me putting my energy there, because the question I have to ask myself is this the energy that I want following me? Do I want that energy following me? And if the answer is no, then I need to, in that moment, change my vibration, change my energy, find ways to elevate, expand, up, increase my frequency, my vibration, or whatever. And like a lot of times, we tend to think that things are, like, we have to figure out what the issue is. But really we don't.
Right.
All we have to do is raise our vibration in that moment and everything will change.
Yes.
And the other thing I want to make sure I say is when we talk about do our thoughts create our reality, sometimes people will become afraid to think. Right? They'll be afraid, like, oh, I just say something, I just had a bad thought. Now I'm going to have all this bad stuff.
Right.
Nope. Only thing you got to do is think something else. Just think something else, and that's it.
Right. No judgment, no beating yourself up, no guilt. Just change your thought.
Exactly.
Change it, and hopefully change it in a high vibration. Because whatever you're feeling at that time, as you were saying earlier, whatever you're feeling at that time is what's creating your experience. And so your thoughts affect your feelings create your experience. So feel better now.
Exactly. Feel better now. We're going to close with that. Feel better now. No matter how you feel right now, feel better. You can always elevate however you're feeling. So thank you for joining us, Scott.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure. And Stephen, thank you for coming. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon again. Or you again. I know I'm going to talk to you again very soon. Well, thank you guys for joining us too. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Until then, this is Arvette.
This is Steve.
And Scott. Bye, guys.